It's officially now President-elect Donald Trump. I'm Nicole Ryan, thanks for joining us.
And I'm Alex Rodriguez. It's Wednesday, November 9th, and you're watching our NTC election special.
In what many are calling a historic upset, Donald Trump has been elected as the 45th President of the United States. With some votes still being tallied, Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton has won the popular vote by a slight margin, with both candidates holding 48% of the vote. Trump took the majority of the Electoral College votes with 289 to Clinton's 218.
And here's a look at how the electoral map shaped up. Donald Trump was able to take key battleground states such as Florida and Ohio. He was able to surprise many experts and Clinton supporters by winning in typically Democratic states like Michigan and Pennsylvania.
It was a neck-to-neck race for a while. Alex, how do you feel? I was on my toes the whole time.
Yeah, it was. It was a really long night. But now we have Emma Kane here to talk about how it all unfolded. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you, Alex?
Sleeping.
Yeah.
I want a nap, man.
It was hard to fall asleep last night.
Yeah.
The president-elect worked into the wee hours of election morning and woke up this morning to congratulations and concessions.
Grand Rapids, Michigan is where Donald Trump's campaign officially ended. He made his final push with a speech at 1 a.m. on Election Day.
So it's now officially Tuesday, November 8th. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
The Trump family voted in their home state of New York. He told reporters that he was not nervous and was excited about the opportunity.
So who did you vote for?
Tough decision.
Trump connected with voters as he won the entire American South with a major win of Florida. Swing states of Wisconsin and Iowa were big wins that pushed Trump out to a secure lead. The Trump-Pence war room in New York was cheerful after winning 18 electoral votes from Ohio. Securing Pennsylvania put him over the 270 electoral mark, making him the next president of the United States. He made his acceptance speech at Trump headquarters with running mate Mike Pence and son Barron by his side.
For America to bind the wounds of division, have to get together. To all Republicans and Democrats and independents across this nation, I say it is time for us to come together as one united people.
The night may not have turned out the way the Clinton campaign wanted, but the day started out hopeful. Here's a look back at Clinton's last day on the campaign trail.
Hillary Clinton started off Election Day by making a quick stop home in Chappaqua, New York to cast her vote. Unlike in 2008, this time her name was on the ballot. Other voters and onlookers lined up outside Douglas Grafflin Elementary School to show their support for the former First Lady turned presidential nominee. Soon after voting, presumably for herself, Clinton and her staff continued their campaign.
So, for those who are still making up your minds or thinking maybe it's not worth voting at all, let me just say the choice in this election could not be clearer.
Once the polls closed and the votes poured in, Clinton and her opponent, Donald Trump, were locked in a close battle for the presidency. Several key states, including Florida, Ohio, and Georgia, ended up going to Trump, which pushed him over the 270 mark for the Electoral College. The night wasn't a total loss for Clinton, as she took home the popular vote. She delivered her concession speech this morning to a large crowd of her supporters.
I know how disappointed you feel because I feel it too. And so do tens of millions of Americans who invested their hopes and dreams in this effort. This is painful, and it will be for a long time. But I want you to remember this. Our campaign was never about one person or even one election. It was about the country we love and about building an America that's hopeful, inclusive, and big-hearted.
Only time will tell if Clinton's hope for an inclusive government will take shape under Trump's leadership.
NTC's Sada Kindor joins us now.
She has some insight from political experts here on campus.
How you doing, Sada?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Doing good, doing good.
Thanks, guys. I spoke with some professors at the NIU Political Science Department about polls in the Electoral College.
The polling had suggested, a fairly easy Clinton victory. So But I think, one of the more important takeaways from this election is the problems that polls are having in trying to predict elections.
It's a travesty when Mrs. Clinton wins the popular vote and is not elected to be the President of the United States.
I also spoke to NIU students to get their reaction to the election results. We'll have that later on in the show.
President Barack Obama called Donald Trump this morning. The president reportedly invited Trump to the White House tomorrow to give him a rundown on Obama's transition plan.
I had a chance to talk to President-elect Trump last night, about 3:30 in the morning, I think it was, to congratulate him on winning the election. We're not Democrats first, we're not Republicans first, we are Americans first.
After Trump's victory, House Speaker Republican Paul Ryan vowed to support the transition. Ryan, a former critic of Trump, is currently seeking re-election. Ryan says that the country is divided even within the Republican Party and that we need to come together and heal after the election.
I think President-elect Donald Trump set the perfect tone last night for doing just this. And I know President Obama and Secretary Clinton are committed to bringing the country together. This needs to be a time of redemption, not a time of recrimination. We all need to rededicate ourselves to making America great and making it a more perfect union.
Ryan says that he believes Trump will lead a unified Republican government.
Global markets are reacting to Donald Trump's victory. Markets in Japan and Europe have seen a decline today, while the value of the Mexican peso also dropped by 11%. On election night, Dow futures in the U.S. dropped almost 900 points as investors expressed anxiety over a Trump victory. Today, the U.S. markets seem to settle a little, showing only normal gains and losses. Coming up next, a Democrat gets a crucial Senate seat in Illinois. We'll have that story and a wrap-up of some other state results.
And we'll hear what NIU students have to say about the election results. Stick around.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection.
Welcome back to NTC's Election Special. And for Congress, the Republicans had a good night, taking control of both the Senate and House. But in Illinois, the incumbent Republican Mark Kirk lost a seat in the Senate. Democrat Tammy Duckworth won 54% of the votes, over Kirk's 40%. In her acceptance speech, Senator-elect Duckworth thanked a fellow veteran who saved her life while she was in Iraq. Earlier in the night, Duckworth spoke of her hopes of a Clinton presidency.
And while it's still early and the big race is still yet to be called, we are filled with hope that history will be made tonight. A win for Secretary Clinton is also a win for inclusiveness and for the American values that we hold so dear. More importantly, it's a repudiation of the vile politics of fear and xenophobia that have sought to marginalize women, people of color, and immigrants.
Senator Kirk congratulated Duckworth shortly after his loss last night. He said he would do everything possible to help her. Kirk began his career as a member of the House of Representatives for the 10th District and was elected into the Senate in 2010. He suffered a stroke 4 years ago while serving.
In the House 16th Congressional District, Adam Kinzinger won an uncontested election, securing over 95% of the vote.
The race for comptroller went to Susana Mendoza, a Democrat, who got 49% of the vote. Her opponent, Leslie Munger, got 45%.
There was also an amendment on the ballot for voters to have their say. The Safe Roads Amendment passed with nearly 80% of the vote. In part, it calls for money collected through transportation revenue to go towards repairing roads and other transportation-related needs. How did NIU students react to the election? Sada Kandor went on campus this morning to find out.
Last night, various organizations held watch parties for the election.
So far, the event's been a great turnout. We started at 7 o'clock and we've already gone past and eaten all of our pizza and almost all of our soda. And we're going to be here till new president's name.
This was the first time many students voted in a presidential election. A student we spoke with explained the electoral process.
If we look at Nate Silver's prediction of polls, it's predicted that Trump had like at least a 30% chance. So what that means is that if the election was run 3 times, Donald Trump had the chance of winning it at least once. So it could have been the first, it could have been the third, or it could have been the second. And in this case, Donald Trump happened to win it the first time it was run.
With NTC News in DeKalb, this is Sata Kindor.
Thank you for joining us for today's election special.
NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you next time.